Welcome to the Tricky Chronicles.
IndyCar edition.
Dress casually.
Dress casual. Casual is the way we go.
We're finally back. I feel like we've been away from this camera for a long time here. I'm excited to be back in front of the camera with our great fans.
And in shorts, I'm a little dressed down today. I mean, it's Friday before IndyCar. You ready for this?
It's Friday before race day. We're trying to get ready. We're setting up the media center. We're moving boxes, hence the casualness.
But the best part about that is we don't even have to do this episode.
I love when we don't have to do this episode, but if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
IndyCar drivers. Let's see them talk about a lap at Pocono Raceway.
A lap around Pocono. Good luck.
As far as speed goes, for a race car driver, I think the feeling of speed, that's the track that I feel the speed the most.
Yeah, a lap around Pocono, it's one of the more unique laps.
It's very tricky because all three corners are different, so to balance the car, to run wide open is very hard.
It's impossible to get the whole lap perfect because all the corners are so much different. You have to set the car up as a compromise.
So you're coming down the front stretch, it's obviously extremely wide.
The straightaway is so wide that sometimes you struggle to look from side to side to see where the walls are.
You know, turn one is a very, very daunting corner, as I always say in motorsports. It's
the fastest sensation of speed you'll have all year. Really high banked. You're hauling the mail. You're, almost 225 miles an hour.
You literally think you're driving into a wall. It is so steeply banked, such a tight corner for how fast you're going into it.
Now, as you complete that, you're going to turn two. You got to kind of get after it, even though it's just a little corner. And you got to be careful because you want to make sure that you stay very close to the curb, but you cannot touch the curb because that throws you off.
Straight into turn three, and then you just got to wheel the thing through three. There's no banking to help you. It's like Milwaukee on steroids.
You don't want to surprise the car. You just want to ease it into turn three, so when it loads up, and then you come out of turn three.
And it feels like you're in that corner for a day and a half just because of how long it is.
And you know it's a good lap when you still feel like you've got margin on the wall and you open your hands and you're accelerating from the apex out. That's when you get excited, because when you look down at the dash as you cross start finish, you know it's been a good one.
Otherwise, if not, you're probably fired.
Sounds easy, but it's not.
And especially with, 25 or 26 other crazies out there with you.
Wow, it was pretty incredible. It was pretty great to see those guys turning those fast laps. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's your first IndyCar race at Pocono.
My first IndyCar race, and what I want to see, I keep hearing 9 wide, 9 wide, 9 wide.
They went 9 wide last year, but don't take my word for it. Let's hear from the IndyCar drivers again.
Let's see what they have to say.
But there was a little scary moment.
Yeah, I would say
This whole thing.
when we went like a million wide, the whole field wide. It was amazing because you look at it, it's two guys in front, the rest of the field is one lane.
When you're going, what is it? 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure I can count that high. 2, 4, 7 wide, 2 or 3 deep. There's a lot going on. I think I was a little bit behind this, and I remember thinking, I'm not sure I want to be a part of that.
Oh my gosh, there's so many cars in one. We're doing like 220 here, and there's a large concentration of cars. At the moment I was thinking, hey, we need to get out of this without wrecking. But also, I was thinking this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity where I can get past like 5 guys.
Yeah, look, I'm right in the middle of that restart. That was definitely a pretty crazy one. I think we ended up actually, in these pictures, I think we get to 7, 8, 9 wide or something crazy, which, that has to be one of the craziest restarts, I think, in IndyCar history. And I don't know why everybody's trying to pass each other going into one corner. We've had all day trying to get this race sorted out, and now people are trying to come from 25th and try and get to the lead in one corner. I'm actually astonished that we all made it through. That's how good we are.
Oh my God. Oh. Jeez. Oh, I remember this like yesterday. Well, Sage, for some reason, never went on that restart. He was sleeping or something, I don't know. Or maybe his spotter didn't tell him, but I stayed in line, and from 3rd I went down to 11th on the starts, which wasn't very nice to see after I led most of the race. But, oh my God, I heard my spotter saying, okay, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide, 6, 7, 8, and then he shuts off. He stopped talking. I was between Power and New Garden, and both of them, you don't really want to be next to them in a sandwich on an oval. So there was a bit of rubbing. I don't think you can see it, but I had to get off of it because we were going to crash. We were touching, and so yeah, 11th. That sucked.
I wasn't sure how many cars I do have inside me or outside, but the spotter said, yeah, there's inside. But I knew Montoya could move because he's also maneuver to overtaking someone else. So I just kept my line, and yeah, it was one of a typical. A great restart in IndyCar Series, and only Pocono can do it.
This was an insane restart, and at the point that I had, actually, I think it was a teammate either side of me, and Montoya actually started coming up on me. I actually lifted out of it. I said, "You guys can have it," because that was going to be one of the biggest wrecks in history. Yeah, God, that is insane. It's insane. And there's one dude just way out in front. What happened?
Oh man, that's crazy.
Holy shnikes, that was pretty cool.
9 wide at Pocono Raceway, man. Pretty crazy stuff.
Can't wait for this weekend in the ABC Supply 500.
Yeah, we can't wait for everyone to get here, but we probably should get back to work.
Yeah, we probably should. Fans are coming, man.
I know, we got to go. So before we leave, though, fans, check this out. IndyCar drivers tell you about who their favorite driver was when they were kids.
See you this weekend.
I was a fan of Ayrton Senna, Formula 1, big fan.
As a kid, you know, two always just rise to the top of my mind. AJ Foyt, you know, who is always a hero, and then Alan Sir Jr.
Honestly, most of them were Canadian. Obviously, you know, Greg Moore, that's pretty well reported, but I was a big Jacques Villeneuve fan, I was a big Paul Tracy fan. Even Gilles Villeneuve, I know I wasn't around to watch him race, but I learned a lot about him, you know, as I was following Jacques, and, you know, was a big fan of his career after the fact. You know, and then obviously kind of some of the typical ones, guys like Senna was definitely a racing hero as well, and the Andretti family, Mario and Michael, they were guys you always had to watch, and I always enjoyed watching as well.
When I grew up racing, some of my favorite guys I liked to watch was Dan Weldon in the IndyCar Series. I always thought he was a super interesting guy. He was really good with fans. He was charismatic. He was funny. You know, he just had a great personality that you'd kind of want to watch. You'd want to get to know. And then on the racing side, he was just really good at oval driving. You know, he was just this badass race car driver on ovals, and you know, he's always fun to watch when he raced. And I always enjoyed, you know, seeing what he would do in Indy cars. So he was probably my favorite. He was the number one dude I was always looking out for.
Growing up, my idol was Ryan Hunter-Reay. I was always watching him at a very young age. He was in Indy cars, I think, for 10 years when I was still in diapers. So Hunter-Reay was definitely my hero. He still is.
My favorites were the American heroes. The guy I just gravitated towards them because IndyCar is such an international sport. It was like us against the world, and that's how I saw it. You know, the Unsers, the Andrettis, Rahal, Mears, these guys. I mean, Foyt. That's who I rooted for, just because those were what I felt like my boys.
Marco said you, by the way.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Nice touch. Nice touch.